What's going on, guys? Oh my Godzilla here, back with another episode of PodZilla, our little Godzilla podcast. Super excited for this episode. We have Ultrazilla on this week. Really excited. Thanks for joining us.
What up, folks? And what up? Oh my Godzilla. What a great name. I'm jealous, honestly.
Thank you. Yeah, I just kind of stole it from the King of the Monsters movie.
A great line. I like that line.
Yeah, super cheesy, but a fun one nonetheless.
It works.
Yeah, and my old one didn't make any sense for Godzilla stuff, so I figured.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I'm gonna tell you this, and it's gonna either be a good thing or a bad thing. From here on out, you are pigeonholed as a Godzilla channel and a Godzilla channel only.
I guess that is true. Doesn't seem to be too much of a problem right now because that's all I do with my spare time anyways, but
absolutely. But as someone that likes to do a lot of different things, it could be a little bit of a hindrance, and it has been for me at certain points.
Yeah, and I wondered, so what's kind of your favorite stuff to do? Because I know you do all sorts of reviews. You do a lot of Godzilla stuff, but you have tons of other stuff.
Look, I do love Godzilla. I wouldn't have called myself Ultrazilla if not, Right. When I started the channel, I was like getting a lot of Godzilla and a lot of like Ultraman stuff. I was just getting into like a lot of Ultraman stuff in the few months prior. But I do like a lot of different things. I've always collected a lot of different things, and I like a lot of robots. Robots is a big thing with me, whether it's a transformer or a super robot or, whatever else. I always liked robots. And that goes, and that comes from, being, part of the Godzilla lore too. Mechagodzilla is my favorite kaiju robot, anything from Godzilla.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he's definitely. Do you like Mogera a lot too, or was he pretty?
Not as much, but I like Mogera, but like definitely, not as much.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun to see him
I did like that in the Heisei, he was like a combiner, because that's always been a big thing with me. I love Voltron. Voltron is one of my absolute favorite anything is Voltron.
Okay, so I was kind of giving you some Voltron vibes.
Yeah. Voltron is like why I got into Power Rangers as well, because when Power Rangers came out, it felt like live action Voltron to me. So that's how I got into that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense for sure. It'd be cool to see them kind of do some new take on Mogera in the MonsterVerse movies or something, or in an upcoming season of Singular Point or something, or just anything.
I would like to see, in the MonsterVerse, that would actually make a lot of sense, especially since they have that technology of Mechagodzilla now.
Right, yeah, it'd be cool to get him another, because he was just in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, right? I don't think he was in any other movies.
No, originally he was in the Mysterions.
Okay. Oh, that's right. The super old school little. Yeah.
Yeah. Like right, I believe what was it, 1959 or 57, something like that. But he debuted in that movie. He was like an alien robot. He didn't do quite the same things, but that's where he debuted. He hasn't been seen since till the Heisei series, but those were his two appearances.
Yeah, I forgot. I keep forgetting that he's not originally from a Godzilla, because I haven't seen any of those. I probably should go back and find them and watch them, but I haven't seen any of those older.
I'll tell you this: I own that movie. I've watched it maybe once.
Yeah,
I didn't really enjoy it, and Mogera honestly isn't in it as much as you would hope. A lot of those like early Toho movies, besides like Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, they had some giant monsters in it, like Manda is in Atragon, but Manda's only in Atragon for like minutes. Same thing here with Mogera. Like they threw them in there, just because it was big, so it would get more folks to watch them. But a lot of folks, kind of love those things. So a lot of those early beasts, they want to see them more, you know?
Right. Yeah, they're definitely fun to see on screen for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so you were into Power Rangers and whatnot, or what got you into Godzilla specifically?
Wow. I mean, you know what? I can't remember not being into Godzilla.
Really? Yeah.
When I was growing up, there was a lot of Godzilla movies on TV, like regular TV.
Yeah.
So I always saw a Godzilla movie. So when I was growing up, especially when I was little, I was really influenced by a lot of those movies. So I never not remember Godzilla being part of my life. Like I really, really remember like Son of Godzilla, Godzilla's Revenge, Destroy All Monsters, and the original Godzilla, like a lot. Like I remember them from when I was super, super young and watching them in like one of our first apartments, so I had to be like 3-4 years old, so
Okay.
those
Right.
memories still stick with me, and I'm in my 40s now, man. So
Yeah.
like those memories are still there, vivid. I recall watching those movies. I remember what that living room looked like only because I was there so much watching Godzilla movies. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I don't remember
crazy.
any other movies or any other TV shows except for like Tom and Jerry. Like, I was a big Tom and Jerry fan when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Um, like, other than that, I don't recall that much from when I was that young. But Godzilla really stuck with me, and it's stuck with me ever since.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool that you have memories going back that far. I don't think I
Not
can.
many, but those I do
But the
remember.
Godzilla ones stick. That's really fun.
It does.
So, do you remember the first movie that you saw Godzilla wise, or was it just kind of lots
It's
of old Godzilla
it's
memories that kind
like,
of?
yeah, it's all muddled together, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, going back
I
that far, I
really
imagine.
don't.
Yeah, it'd be difficult to
Yeah,
pinpoint it when you just kind of have vague memories of knowing. But that's still really cool that you had all these Godzilla memories, so long
yeah,
ago, and they're
it's
still
a
with
mix
you.
of those. I really think it's something with Minya, because
Yeah.
Minya was like a real like I remember him from when I was really young.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that'd be good. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think I remember my first exposure to Godzilla was for some random reason. My parents must have just bought it for me at the store one time, but I never remember not having the 4-inch Trendmaster. Oh, I actually have it right here. Just the 4-inch Trendmasters little guy. Um, and I didn't really ever think much of it. And then one time on TV, my parents were flipping through the channels, and the '98 Godzilla movie was on,
Hmm.
and they didn't really let me watch it because I was too young to watch it. But I remember that scene where they're kind of walking through the subway tunnels, and they come to what they think is a dead end, and then Godzilla's big eye opens up, and
Nice.
it just takes up the whole thing. So that's really all I remember. But then I remember like seeing that was really cool, so I ran into my room and dug out my toy, and then I kind of forgot about Godzilla for a while and then I kind of was exposed to it again later on.
Okay.
So what kind of dragged you into the world of collecting figures and stuff? Did you collect early on, or at least Godzilla
Well,
stuff early on, or what were you collecting?
my first experiences with Godzilla toys were like I had the Shogun Warriors Godzilla, the original,
Okay, nice.
the big one. I remember there was like some like rubbery Godzilla that I don't know who made it. But there was like a rubbery Godzilla, and then later there was the Imperial Godzilla a little bit later.
Right. Okay.
So there wasn't that many toys that I had personally, as far as Godzilla goes. Like it was those three, and there was like some little wind up Godzilla that like
Yeah.
like shot sparks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was it for me, until like till Trendmasters, honestly, in the 90s.
Okay.
Like, and when Trendmasters came out, it was just like, oh, finally. And I had no access to anything Japanese. None.
Yeah. Okay.
Like nothing, like, my parents had no clue about that stuff growing up, so I didn't You know, I had no idea about it till I was much old, like not much older, but until I was a teenager at least, and able to
Okay.
find these things on my own. And honestly, it wasn't until the Trendmaster stuff came out that it made, and that kind of re-sparked me wanting to get more Godzilla toys, that it made me like even like look into that stuff. So I had a lot of Trendmasters, you know, in the 90s,
Okay, yeah.
which is cool. But like I was collecting a lot of other stuff in the 90s too. I like the Kenner Alien stuff. I remember the Toy Biz Marvel stuff. Um, I had a lot of stuff like younger too. Like I love Star Wars and G.I. Joe and Transformers, all the
Yeah,
classics, you know?
for sure. Yeah.
Um, so that's why that stuff has always stuck with me anyway. Like all these other toys, I just love different toys. So, but you know, as far as how I got into like collecting now, it wasn't until like 2013 when I discovered the SH Monster Arts line was a thing
Okay, yeah.
that I actually started, you know, collecting, I would say seriously, because there was a long gap where I stopped collecting from like, I want to say the early 2000s to like 2013. I would say like 10 years where I just didn't collect anything anymore
Nothing at
as
all.
far as
Okay.
toys. I was getting started. I'm in the comic book industry. So I was
Okay.
getting started with that career or trying to make it a career. And I was super focused on that, you know. So the
Okay,
thing I
yeah.
was really collecting was comics. That's something I collected also since I was like young.
Okay.
And it's the field I went into. So, you know, I kind of, until I was like settled into that, I didn't look back at toys for quite a long time.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Do you have any like the old like the Godzilla comics that they did? I know they have a
Um,
couple of lines that I haven't managed to get my hands on them, but I definitely want to try and check them out at some point.
Somebody, when I used to work at DC Comics for a while,
Oh wow.
for a
Okay.
long while actually, in that time period, and somebody gifted me the entire run of the Marvel Godzilla.
Wow.
I didn't have any of those when I was younger, so it was really cool to get those. And then I collected like all like the Dark Horse comics
Yeah.
in the 90s, so those were pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you still
Mhm.
have all those in your collection?
I don't have the Dark Horse stuff except maybe one or two.
Okay.
Um, but I have that, you know, that Marvel run because I think it's around here somewhere. I just don't know where because I'm in, you know, covered in boxes right now.
Yeah. I know the feeling of that one. But yeah, that's really cool that you have those. That's definitely something on my list that I'm hoping to at some point at least be able to read
There
through them.
is,
Like, yeah,
let me
those would
tell you,
be
there is and I never got around to getting this. There is, I forget what it's called. I think it's called, I don't remember what it's called. But the Marvel used to put out these kind of like phone book of phone books of their like some runs,
yeah.
and there's one of Godzilla, and it's all in black and white, no color,
Oh yeah.
and
Wow.
it's really nice.
So it's like the
Like I
full
flipped through it a
collection.
couple. What's that?
So it's like the full collection
The full collection of the
of all
entire
their.
run, but in black and white instead of with the color, and it
Oh,
looks
okay.
so great. I never did get that, and I'm pissed off about it because I had it in my hand a bunch of times. I was like, ah, next time, and then it just
Oh
kind of
no.
was gone. If you could ever find that, but I forget what the line was called right now. I think it was called Marvel Milestones, maybe, or
Okay.
Masterworks or Milestones. They had a bunch of different ones like that. But it was really cool, like really, really cool, and a great way to look at that art, honestly.
Yeah, that sounds super exciting. I have to check that out and see what
Mhm.
the going rate for that is and see how hard it would
Yeah,
be to
I
swing
have no
that.
idea, but it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And so what kind of dragged you into the world of wanting to, talk about toys and all your stuff and do YouTube?
Well, there was a bunch of things going on, right? So I started collecting the SH Monster Arts line, right? And once I
Okay.
did that, I kind of wanted to get more and more. So that was 2013. I started collecting again in 2013. And
Okay.
that kind of like set the path of where I was, at with collecting. Okay, I was getting the SH Monster Arts line. And then I was like, oh, I just found out about the Ultra Act line. and with Ultraman. So I was I was
Okay.
getting that, and then I was like, man, I want to get into Transformers again because I used to love that when I was a kid, and I never had as many as I wanted. So I started getting those, but there was a lot of different. I wanted to talk about the toys too with people, and
Yeah.
like I started like finding different groups and stuff, Toho Kingdom and then Facebook groups. Um, and I was watching a lot of reviews because I didn't want to just buy toys, because they were more expensive
Right.
than when I was younger, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I didn't want to just buy toys without like any sort of like knowledge of them at that point. And when I worked at DC Comics, I was really good friends with DC Direct, which is the toy division.
Oh.
So I got an interest in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
starting to get an interest in the business side of things. And then I like met a bunch of different people through those groups, like Steven's Toy Review and stuff like that, and some other guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like the more I watched other people's reviews, the more I was like, you know what? I want to do something with this stuff, not just collect them. And I felt like I had like a good basis of how I could form opinions about this stuff, right? Like
Yeah, okay, for sure.
I'm an artist. I just was I had a lot of time because I went freelance from DC from there.
Okay.
So I had more time. When I was at DC, like I said, I got to know a bit of the business. I used to work at a comic shop which had toys, and I got to know some of the retail part of it. So
Okay.
I had a lot of different experiences to draw from. And my wife was like kind of making like indie toys as well. She wasn't my
Oh,
wife at the time, but she was starting to do that stuff.
that's cool.
So I had a lot of different experiences to draw from, right? So I felt like, okay, if I do this, I feel good about what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
like I feel like, okay, my opinion, I'll feel good standing behind my opinion because of like the different experiences I have. I think
Okay.
that's kind
Yeah.
of important when you're doing this. Like, anybody could do this and anybody should do this if they want to, right? First and
Mm-hmm.
foremost, this is something I always say. But if you know what you're talking about a little bit, it goes a long way, I think.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a good point. Yeah. Yeah, and it definitely shows in your videos. They come through really, really polished, and your
Well,
opinion
I
really,
think I got
really
a
come
long way
through.
to go as far as the look of the videos go, but I
Yeah.
think, as far as what I'm talking about, I think that's what people do come for. So I'm
Yeah,
fine with
yeah.
that.
You definitely seem to know what you're talking about when you chat about it, all the things in your videos. So it's definitely a good opinion to have is yours. So yeah, that's cool.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
you seem to post a lot of the good. So do you have the whole SH Monster Arts series of God? Are there any holes in your?
There's some holes, but there were holes on purpose.
Okay.
Like the holes I have are some of the repaints. I didn't
Okay.
get all of them.
Okay.
Um, I didn't care for all of them. Like I was like,
Yeah.
why do I need this again? However, it's unfortunate because some of those I had picked up before I started the channel, and I never did review those original ones. So I in my head, I should have been like, oh, I could have just gotten those repaints as a review thing.
Right.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, so there was like a little like when they really started doing those repaints a lot, like the Mothra Batra one
Mm-hmm.
and the Destroyer one. I didn't get those, and I think there was one more. There's like four of those repaints maybe that I didn't get.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
or maybe it was just three. I think King Ghidorah, which I should have because that one looked really nice. The Batra, Mothra, and but wait, there was two Batra Mothras, wasn't there? I
I'm
think
trying to
so.
remember. That's one of them I still need to pick. I'm missing that one, so I definitely need to research it and pick it up.
And
But
the Destroyer. So like those were the ones I missed, and I was about to not get that new King Ghidorah right now.
yeah.
But I ended up getting it because like GameStop had it on like for pre-order sale that was like a ridiculous price.
Yeah, I know they did like Yeah, big discount.
A big discount on the pre-order.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? At that price, I have to get it.
Yeah, if it was almost, I probably am gonna kick myself in the future for not getting it, but I sat that one out just because that Ghidorah's wings bother me so much. I did not want to deal with another one up on the shelf.
No, I hear you, man. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely have to get rid of the original once I get the new one in and review it and like compare them.
Yeah.
Then I have to get rid of. I know a lot of folks will like whenever they see a repaint, they try to get rid of their stuff like right away.
Yeah.
And that's actually like the worst time to get rid of something because the market is down. Because everybody sees the new shiny thing, they want that new shiny thing. They try to sell their old not so shiny thing,
right,
to get the new one, and the market goes down. However, if you actually wait till that new shiny thing comes in, a lot of times that new shiny thing isn't as good as you originally thought. And folks do go back and try to get that original one again.
Yeah. I actually.
So just a little collecting advice for folks out there, like wait on if you want to sell one of those, wait to see how the new one comes out.
And I noticed that on the Final Wars Gigan they did when because they came out with the new one that I don't even think it's fair. That wasn't even like a repaint. I don't think that was just like here's some effect parts. And
yeah, I bought it just because I want to review it. I still haven't reviewed it yet, even though I've had it for like a couple months.
I got it and it's pretty nice, but I went and looked. I still have my old one, but I went and looked up, and it seems like now the old one is selling for more than the one with all the fancy effects, which is just kind of interesting.
Yeah. But that old one was already like going for a lot, but I haven't reviewed it yet. Like I'm planning because Godzilla vs. Gigan, the anniversary is March 12th, so that's coming up soon. So I was just planning on releasing that review that day.
Oh, okay, that's smart.
So a little bit of I try to do that sometimes. Like I have so many things that I buy that I don't have a chance to review.
Yeah.
Like my backlog is ridiculous, and it's kind of like a cool thing though sometimes because there'll be like an anniversary of something, and I'm like, oh, I have just the thing. You need a Beast Wars anniversary review. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's an anniversary, I could possibly have it covered because there's so many things I collect, and it's possible that I have a certain item in my backlog that I didn't do yet. So
that's definitely.
I wouldn't suggest having a massive backlog, but sometimes it works.
It can play in your favor. Yeah.
Definitely.
So, and that some of them, and I know you have. I think you posted your review for the Godzilla Ultima.
Yeah.
A little while ago. And you seem to be in the minority of people who got that figure in a timely manner. I ordered mine from Big Bad Toy Store, and they're still dragging their feet.
Yeah, well, here's what's going on with that. I ordered mine from Bandai Premium.
Oh, okay. So you paid to get it.
So when it went up for pre-order, that and Mechagodzilla 21 were both up for pre-order around the same time through Bandai Premium.
Yeah.
And I had to decide, even though here they were not, they were up at separate points. I was like, I don't think I could drop that much money on both of them.
Yeah.
So I pre-ordered Mechagodzilla through a US retailer, a friend of mine who does a lot of retail stuff, Muteki Sales, by the way. You guys everybody could go check it out, mutekisales.com. So I pre-ordered Mechagodzilla through them, and then I pre-ordered Ultima through Bandai Premium, which when I do, I usually use Zen Market for that. So that's how I ordered Ultima. However, when Mechagodzilla dropped, I was like, I can't wait for the Bluefin pre-order because I'm hearing bad things about Bluefin. So what I did was I went to Mandarake. And a little tip is when Bandai Premium items do come out, there's almost always like a good chunk of people that pre-ordered it in Japan that regret that pre-order. and they'll sell it to Mandarake.
Okay.
And once they get it, they bring it to Mandarake and they get rid of it. And also, Japanese collectors are super, super particular about box damage.
Okay,
That
right.
if something is like the slightest bit of a box damage, they'll get rid of it. So
yeah.
a lot of times you can go to Mandarake like that the week something comes out. You just have to pay attention to when things are out,
Right, yeah.
in Japan. And more than likely, if you stalk Mandarake, with, that in the search bar, you're probably going to get it for retail price from Japan and not have to worry about paying, way in advance a pre-order from Japan, which you have to pay for up front.
Okay,
So,
that's smart.
for the Bandai premium stuff, you have to pay. So that's why how I got those. But right now it's not even, it's not BBTS's fault. It's not any shop's fault in the US. There's just a massive, massive shipping delay right now. Usually the shipping delay is about a month and a half. 4 to 6 weeks is usually the shipping delay, standard shipping delay, because how it goes from Bandai to Bluefin, the distribution is Bandai waits till everything that comes out that month is out, and then they ship it.
Oh,
so sometimes something feels really quick and sometimes it feels really long because of when it dropped in Japan versus when it comes out here. But because of when they ship it, sometimes you're waiting longer. But right now there's a massive shipping delay because of, the pandemic. It slowed everything down. But even before that, there was like shipping issues. So right now it's slowed down. Bluefin announced, that everything is like 2 to 3 months out. So that's why, any orders from a shop from the US like BBTS is delayed. But Ultima should be out this month.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. But yeah, Godzilla Ultima and the Mechagodzilla 2021. Yep. Yeah,
they should
probably
be both out this month.
All got pushed back together. And I think both of those originally said January release. And then, they just keep pushing them. It's not too big a deal.
Because they were out. Ultima was out the last week of November in Japan, and then Mechagodzilla was out in the last week of December. So they would have been out towards, like I said, they pack them together. They would have both been out in January, but probably Ultima at the beginning of January and Mechagodzilla at the end of January.
Okay.
If everything was okay. But they're not okay.
But
so
not so much.
Delayed. No.
Yeah, I got a handful of things on BBTS that are all delayed, but they'll get here when they get here.
Yeah.
But, so what's something you have up for pre-order that you're most excited for? Godzilla or non-Godzilla, or one of each? Or
what's funny is this past week I actually canceled a good 10 pre-orders.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Just because it's like sometimes, like I'm saying, the backlog is good, but it's usually bad. And I just, I want to tackle more of that backlog.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't want as much stuff coming in, so I'm kind of like breaking it down a little bit. But I'm really looking forward to the Singular Point Jet Jaguar. From SH Monster Arts. That's like, I love Singular Point, so yeah, I can't wait to get that one. That one is going to be awesome, I think. It looks awesome, it sounds great.
Yeah, it definitely looks pretty sweet.
A pre-order I just put in this week that I'm really excited for, that should be coming out later this year, is the 3-0 Voltron. Okay. So I, really think 3-0 is a great company. So them, although their Shin Ultraman that I reviewed recently was terrible, but that was my copy. Yeah, like I'm really looking forward to that one. So those are two big things that I'm like really, really looking forward to, I would say. more than anything. I guess Final Wars Godzilla. Finally, we get a Final Wars Godzilla from SH Monster Arts.
Yeah.
That's something that, I'm looking forward to getting, I don't know. Art Spirits is, has a lot of their smaller figures coming out soon.
Yeah.
The Godzilla Singular Point set, the Mechagodzillas, and Godzilla vs. Kong, they're all coming out. If everything, is correct, like in the next 3 to 4 months, all of those are coming out. And those are usually really nice figures. The King of the Monsters figures were great.
Yeah.
And they had a Gamera set before that a lot of people didn't really know about. That was really nice. I love Gamera, by the way. That's like another major thing that I love.
Yeah.
If I could break down the major characters that I love collecting, it's Gamera, Mechagodzillas, Optimus Prime, Voltron, and then Godzilla, obviously, and his
Yeah.
million forms. But those 5 characters, if you go through my collection, are I have like an entire case of Mechagodzillas and an entire case of Voltrons, an entire case of Gameras. Same thing with Optimus Prime. So, and Godzilla's like just everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. So what would you say is your favorite Mechagodzilla design?
The Showa, the 74 and 75, both 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's
and likewise with Godzilla. Likewise with Godzilla, that 73 through 75 is my favorite Godzilla.
Your favorite? Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a good one. And yeah, the Mechagodzilla is super hard to top that one.
Yeah, no, that's perfection. That Mechagodzilla, like I think anyone, could argue Godzilla with no problem. Like, I understand my Godzilla of choice is not the super popular Godzilla of everyone's choice, right? But I think with Mechagodzilla, like, it's very hard to argue that any Mechagodzilla is better than the Showa.
Yeah, the show is definitely good. I think I like the Kiryu, the Mechagodzilla.
Kiryu's great. Kiryu's great because it kind of like riffed off that Showa Godzilla, Mechagodzilla,
I definitely like the Kiryu the most, probably, but the 74 is a close second, and then the Mechagodzilla 2 is good. And then what'd you think of the legendary Mechagodzilla design?
I liked it. I did. I think it turned out pretty good. It's a different design, but I think it works. Like, I think it works within the MonsterVerse. I can't imagine how else it would have looked. Within that universe, I think it worked really well.
Yeah,
I love the Ready Player One Mechagodzilla too.
Yeah, that one's
really
good.
Nice,
I've seen
really
a bunch
nice
of those cool like bootleg toys.
They're good.
Somebody's
They're
like
really
making
good
for that Ready Player One of those are super cool. I almost picked one up, but
you should.
But did you?
I recommend it. It's really good. Yeah.
You got one?
Yep.
Yeah, they looked pretty good. Did you like the Mechagodzilla from the Planet Godzilla Earth series? And we didn't really ever get to see in action too much, but
yeah, I have the Bandai Premium one.
Yeah, me too.
It's really nice. I really like that figure. It's an interesting design. I wouldn't say it's a favorite. But it's an interesting design.
Yeah, that's about where I'd sit with it. It's definitely pretty cool, but and it might have been better if we had seen more of it, I guess.
Yeah.
In action, but I thought it was a pretty unique, cool design, but nothing to obsess over.
Right.
And yeah, that's kind of probably how I feel about the legendary one too. I have some things I really liked about it, and then some parts of it about like the face when it looks head on looked kind of weird, but I didn't hate. But I've seen some. I don't know if you've seen this floating around recently. I've been seeing somebody like designed a Mechagodzilla that's like 3D printable.
Oh yeah.
I've seen a bunch of those.
Looks like the legendary Godzilla. Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's beautiful.
It's really cool. So, and anytime I see anybody post about it, they're saying like, this is what it should have looked like. Which, if it had, it probably would have been okay. It was a little chunky, but
yeah.
I don't have too many complaints with what we got.
I like that all of the Mechagodzillas that has ever been haven't exactly looked like Godzilla. you know,
Right, yeah.
because why would you like make it exact? It would be impossible to make it look exactly like a robot Godzilla.
Mhm.
And while everybody has always said this, let me tell you, like throughout history, everybody has always put forth this argument that Mechagodzilla should look like really like a metal Godzilla. And I just don't think it should. I think it's benefited from being different, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And that is cool. And that gives Mechagodzilla its own flavor.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a good point. Definitely. Since we kind of touched into the MonsterVerse, where would you like them to kind of go with that if they end up continuing?
I've talked about this before actually on a live stream that I've done. I think a cool thing to do would be take Skull Island,
Yeah.
right? And turn Skull Island into Biollante.
Oh, okay.
Because it's already got like something to it. You know, like there is something there that where monsters grew up, you know, like there, you know,
Yeah.
something like mutated different animals there. So I think it would have been always cool if maybe Skull Island was really like a Biollante, you know?
That would be pretty crazy. Yeah.
You don't have to have Kong in it, you know, but I think it would make for a really interesting way to get Biollante into the MonsterVerse. I think Biollante is a perfect thing to put into the MonsterVerse because I think personally could be very easy to make it into a MonsterVerse beast kaiju, you know. So
yeah, I think Biollante would definitely be. And in things I've seen everywhere, it seems like Biollante is one of the top fan contenders to join the MonsterVerse anyway. So that would definitely be a smart move. It'd be cool to see.
I think so.
And
I
yeah, I
think it'd
like
be
that
really
take
cool
on it. That would be really unique and cool. That would be fun.
because you know Kong kind of abandoned Skull Island
Right.
now, so it'd be interesting to do something with it. Even though I think they are doing something with it. Wasn't there like a Skull Island something or other coming out, like series?
Yeah, I think it's like an Is it an
Animated series? Yeah, something.
Is it gonna be is that gonna be in line with the MonsterVerse? I didn't know if that was a separate thing or if that's gonna be in line.
I think it's gonna be canon, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I
It'll
could be
interesting to see
wrong,
what
but
they do
I think so.
you know, they had to leave Skull Island in Godzilla vs. Kong because it was getting overtaken by that storm.
Right, which they didn't explain.
Right.
Like
so
I was that's something that could really play into the whole Biollante thing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
What is this unexplained storm that was destroying the island? Like why? What's going on? Something that was strange as it was.
Yeah, I wonder if they did that kind of open-ended to leave it as a possible something you know, in the future. Yeah. That would definitely be cool. Yeah, so I like the Biollante take. Biollante would be a lot of fun to see him enter. And I know a lot of people also want to see Destroya. Could be really fun.
Yeah, it could, depending on how they do
figure out. I guess
they already laid the seeds. You know, they already used the Oxygen Destroyer.
Right. Yeah. So they have the.
By the way, your mic reminds me of the Oxygen Destroyer.
Oh, I guess it kind of does. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, because you had it more like that in your previous interviews, and it just I was like,
I guess
his mic looks like that.
It kind of does. That's funny. I'll have to spend hundreds of dollars customizing it to look exactly like it.
But that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then in terms of Japanese Godzilla stuff, would you rather? Or you said you like Singular Point, so maybe you'd lean this way. Would you rather them kind of continue doing more of that, or give us a sequel to Shin Godzilla, or a new standalone movie? What would you kind of like to see Toho do?
I for sure do not want another Shin Godzilla.
Okay.
I am not as enamored with Shin Godzilla as a lot of folks are. Like, I'm good with it just being a standalone movie and never seeing it again. Yeah. You know, it's an interesting take on Godzilla, but it's not a preferred take. I think it's a really good movie, but it's not something I want to see sequels to.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I definitely think I kind of land there.
I feel
with
like
you.
the way it ended is perfect. Like,
Mhm.
leave it to, your imagination. Like, it's an interesting take, and that's it. And I think it's a good way to end off. He's just not a good, like, I don't want to see Shin Godzilla versus other monsters. Like, I just,
Mhm.
like, I don't know where you could go that's not like a horror movie after this,
Right. Yeah.
So I personally wouldn't want to see it. Um, but I would love to see a second season of Singular Point. That's for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was really, really good. And yeah, but I would like to see some new Japanese movies for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. I think. Yeah, I'm definitely pretty much in the exact same boat as you, I guess. Shin Godzilla, I'm good, one and done. Singular Point would definitely be fun to see another season, but yeah, my main thing I'd want from them is another movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do in terms of would they do what they kind of were doing toward the end, where everything's a direct sequel to the original, or it would, if it picks up
Yeah.
after something, it'd be kind of interesting if they just randomly decided to pick up, 20 years later, pick up right after Final Wars and continue that, or yeah,
Well,
or anything. It'd just be interesting to see what they had leaned towards.
there was a couple things I feel like okay, so Shin Godzilla is kind of like a remake of the original. It's as if, Godzilla never existed.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I think a cool thing that they could do is actually remake the original. Like, kind
Okay.
of like Peter Jackson's Kong. How come nobody's tried to do a remake of Godzilla, that takes place in 1954?
Yeah, that would be fun to see. With do
You know what I'm
everything.
saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because from there you could just, start like a new Showa era type of deal, like it'd be interesting to do. Or again, it could be another one and done. But I think that would be a really cool. I mean, you could do sequels in the modern day,
Right.
but
Yeah. Have it starting off of that.
like, create a new, like, I would just like to, I can't believe it hasn't been done. Like I
Right.
said,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
Like, Shin Godzilla is kind of that, but like, how come nobody did what how come when Peter Jackson did what he did, recreate Kong, like that original movie taking place in the same time period, a period piece. How come nobody
Right.
at Toho was just like, oh man, we got to do that with Godzilla?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like, that was never a thought in their mind. To me, it was just like, oh my God, I would love to see that happen.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting. I would jump on board of that. That'd be really cool to see, them
Yeah, that'd be
take
really
the
cool.
same concepts and and then it would be interesting to see what they do with Godzilla. How true would they stay to the original 1954? And it'd be kind of cool to see basically, the same structure of the 1954
Yeah,
Godzilla, but
right.
with a little bit of modern stuff. And then obviously, seeing it in color and with modern effects and everything
Mm-hmm.
would be really cool. Yeah, that would definitely be awesome. I like that. Somebody's got to hire you, man. Like, you got all these good ideas.
I wish, man. I wish. I'll tell you what, like, I've told this story before, but I was, going to write some Godzilla comics.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because what I do now in comics is lettering, but before that I was doing a lot of writing.
Okay.
When I first started, I was doing a lot of writing, and I had like a few books out, and this company I was working with from the UK was talking with Toho to get, this is after Dark Horse's license expired and
Okay.
before IDW got it. This company was talking to them to try to get the license. I was in on the emails because it was my idea.
Wow.
So they were, we pitched them of my idea, and they seemed to be on board
Yeah.
to the point where they gave us a price list of the licenses.
Yeah.
And that's when the company balked, because they were
Okay.
like, oh, they try a lot of things in comics. always happen by like, okay, so we'll do this and then, we'll give you the money from when it's printed, and Toho just didn't want to work that way.
Okay.
So it went nowhere, but it was interesting. Like I could still go through like my emails. I never deleted those emails just to
Wow.
say, look at that, man.
That's pretty crazy. So were they doing more of like, okay, if you want to use Godzilla in a comic, it's this much. If you want to add on Mothra and
Yep.
Ghidorah.
Yep. And this is why, and a lot of people, I always talk about this, but a lot of folks always get mad. Oh man, Toho screwed with like NECA so much, and they could only do Godzilla. And I'm like, I don't think so. Like Toho's always been about making money. If you pay for their licenses, they'll give you that license.
Yeah, and then
So I always was of the mind of, I just don't think NECA wanted to make some of the other monsters because I don't think they thought it was gonna sell as well.
Yeah, it might potentially kind of funnel it into more of a niche audience of people who they know
So
Godzilla.
that was always my thought on that, and that was only from my experience.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
that's definitely cool. Cool to know, and that's really cool.
It was
you got
cool,
so far with them, and
man, it was so close.
yeah, that would have been crazy had you ended up being able to get that deal to go through. That would have been a lot of fun.
It was cool, but like, what, things happen for a reason. IDW did a really good job, and I think a lot of cool things happened there. So, and a lot of cool things happened from there. I mean, like Chris Mary, who works at IDW now, like wrote the comic. So, it worked out for him.
Definitely.
Really well. And I know Chris, so like, I'm not mad at that or anything. That is like awesome.
Yeah, definitely. You still have kind of a little bit of behind the scenes on that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool story. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of trying to get wrapped up. I'll let you go here shortly.
All right.
But I definitely want to end with, so you already you said that the 74 Mechagodzilla and the 74-ish Godzilla are your favorite suits and designs. Is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla your favorite movie? Or what would your favorite Godzilla movie be?
My favorite Godzilla movie is Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Okay.
So the 75 is my favorite. And it's weird because if I could combine those two movies, it would be perfect. Because I love the movie. I love Terror of Mechagodzilla. But I love the music in Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, and that's a super fun soundtrack.
And, like, that's saying a lot because Akira Ifukube did the music for Terra, and it's great. But, man, the music for the 74 is just so good. And whenever I think of Mechagodzilla, I think of that music.
Yeah, it's super jazzy.
Yeah, it's that's
a super awesome soundtrack.
Yeah, so it's like, I wish I could lift that music and put it into Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, that's definitely fun.
But I love Terror of Mechagodzilla. I love Titanosaurus so much more than King Caesar.
Yeah.
I think there's a few weird editing blips in Terra, but otherwise, like, I think it's really awesome. Like, I really do. Like, I felt like Ishihiro Honda was doing, like, not only was he trying to, like, send off the series really well, but I think he was doing, like, a take on, like, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly in a weird way with monsters.
Okay. Yeah.
That sounds weird, but there's something about the relationship of those three monsters to each other that if you watch the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and I only say this because I'm a huge fan of the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and my mind goes there.
Yeah.
There is something about that is very similar to the structure of the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So I always liked that about Terra. I don't know, like, I mean, I always liked Terra, but like when I got a little bit older and I watched, a lot of Westerns and stuff, that's like a thing that I've always loved is like spaghetti Westerns.
Yeah.
Like that made me start thinking about the movies, like that. And I'm like, there's something about this that always reminded me of that. I don't know. So it's a really great movie. I love
Yeah.
Terra. There's some great shots in that movie, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a
And
fun one.
Godzilla's like intro in that movie is still probably my favorite.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in so long. I'm trying to remember what.
Titanosaurus attacking the city, and it's nighttime. And all of a sudden, like, the camera pans, and there's a flash in the sky, and you see Godzilla's silhouette behind the buildings.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then he steps forward, and he's like, ready to roll.
Ready to rumble.
Yeah, and it's awesome. I just love that scene. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that one because I haven't seen that one in a really long time. I just need to go through and watch everything.
And there's no
again.
music. There's no music there, so it's just like all you hear is like the sirens going off.
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah,
it's really well done.
Yeah, definitely. Those are definitely some good ones. And then, what's currently one of your favorite items in your collection?
That's tough. Okay, so I got this guy right next to me because I was playing around with it. It is definitely one of my favorite things in my collection. This is a Devastator from Transformers.
Okay.
And this is he's usually a combiner, but this is more of an action figure. Doesn't combine, but it's like super animation accurate, and like it has amazing ratchet joints.
Oh, so okay, that's fun.
Like everything clicks.
Has all the clicking. Wow. Okay.
Super sturdy. Love this thing. I was just like playing. I always find myself playing around with this guy. And I was just playing around with it again. I'm like, man, I never reviewed this. It's super old, but like I kind of want to.
Yeah.
But this is one of my favorite things as far as, anything goes. It's funny because I don't think there's like a Godzilla that would like make my like top 5 at least of favorite toys.
Yeah.
There's probably a Mechagodzilla, the X Plus Mechagodzilla 75, what was it, the bigger series, the 30 centimeter Mechagodzilla 75 is one of my favorite things as well. Like then I have like a couple of like Optimus Primes that are like high up on my list. So those would probably be like some of my favorite toys.
Yeah, definitely. Those are some good.
I can't think of a Godzilla. It's weird, right? Like,
yeah,
I have so many Godzillas. I no doubt have more Godzillas than anything else. Yet I can't think of one that is like a favorite toy.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of the Bandais or?
Yeah, I have
a pretty good amount of those?
I have a ton of Bandais. Mostly like, movie monster series stuff. Like I pretty much collect that line. And then I have like various, different Godzillas from like X Plus type of stuff to like, like more vinyl art style,
Yeah.
Definitely. And like everything in between.
Yeah, you should do like a Godzilla collection video. I'd be really interested to see what everything you got.
Well, I've been like in the process of reorganizing since like the beginning of the channel, probably.
Yeah, I feel that.
But recently I've been really reorganizing a lot because this is in a basement and we redid the basement because we had some problems down here. So we had to redo everything. So I've been like redoing my collection and I just put up a lot of my Godzillas. So soon, like there'll probably be some sort of like collection tour of some sort, Yeah,
definitely. I'd be super interested to see that video.
It'd be cool to do it. I've wanted to do it for a long time. I've always put it off.
Yeah, I did one back in January, and it's definitely it's fun, kind of remembering all your stuff and looking at everything
Yeah,
individually and kind of going through. And sometimes it becomes a
definitely.
lot because your brain, you're the way I did it, I was just kind of panning through everything and naming it all as I passed. So I definitely had to do a couple of takes because my brain would trip over itself saying that
Yeah.
this is the neck of blah blah
Like,
blah, the
what
bin
is
bag,
that?
getting all the years and the names and the everything.
I understand
Definitely,
that
definitely can be
completely.
a lot. Is everything behind you? Are all those boxes empty that you have stuff displayed on, or those are all in box stuff?
That's all. Like, here, let me. All of this stuff. Well, not that side. That's like some of my wife's stuff. Uh, all of this stuff is still in box. Stuff that I just never like that I bought because of collection
Yeah.
and just never got a chance to review it or put it up anywhere. So
Oh,
that's why
okay.
I got to like calm it down this year
Yeah.
because I'm way too far ahead there.
Yeah. Do you try and I think I see a couple things that look like they're doubled up. Do you try and get multiples of things, that one to keep in the box and one to take
No,
out,
no,
or
I don't.
no?
If there's
I did
anything back here, it's like that looks the same. It's probably like the same like line of stuff.
the same line, different stuff inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had the wallet to have kind of two, because some part of me really likes keeping stuff in the box and having it for that display, but normally I end up taking everything out. But some of like the Funkos that they did, and a couple NECAs and Playmates stuff, I did buy doubles of to have keep one in the box and kind of display them separately.
Actually, my Funkos are like right above me here in the box still.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice.
Yeah, so that was kind of like, I reviewed those already, but then I was just like, you know what? I'm keeping those in the box and here because I have this space over here. So I figured, why not?
Yeah, yeah. The Funkos were one that I went and bought two of all of them because I like the way they look in the box, but then I wanted to have one out of the box to mess with. And so the Funkos, I did go through and buy two of all of them.
Cool.
And they definitely look fun. I got them right over here. I don't know how hard it'd be to pan over, but
Yeah,
I
the
got everything
Funkos
kind of
were fun.
secured.
They were surprisingly good.
They were, yeah, because normally Funko does more, people and stuff. So I didn't
Yeah.
know how Godzilla and his his relatives
Well,
would turn
they
out.
did Godzilla. They've done Godzilla and Kong before, but they weren't that great.
No, yeah, I have a couple of them right here, and they're okay, but these new ones
Yeah.
are definitely, the sculpt
They
is
were
way better.
really good. The sculpts were really nice, and the big ones were like really, really nice.
Yeah, no, the Neon City Godzilla was probably one of my favorite things that came out last year.
I agree. It was very good.
Yeah, really, really cool. So I hope, and I was talking about this with I think with G Forever when I talked to him a couple weeks ago. We were chatting about what do we hope Funko goes back into the catalog, and I guess it might be expensive for them, like you were mentioning, if they license them at the the per monster type of deal.
Yeah,
but it would be really cool to see Funko go back, because I guess with Godzilla and Kong, they wouldn't have even had to pay for Kong through Toho, just Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. But it would be really cool to see them go back and do like the King of the Monsters lineup, or do some anything else. But it would be really cool to see the King of the Monsters.
Just do the whole lineup.
Yeah,
I'd see everything. You know what? Funko, they're printing money with that stuff. So
yeah, for real.
If any company has no problem getting an entire license, it's Funko.
So, yeah, and it'd be really fun to see kind of like those.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I mean, they were doing it with Ultraman. They started doing it, but I don't think they sold well. So there was nothing else, past that first series. But man, Godzilla's I think would do really good.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to see them go back and do, give us some other kaiju and Godzilla stuff. And yeah, I've almost gotten into the Ultraman line, but I decided to avoid it to keep my money all focused on Godzilla, because if I start spending on too much stuff, I'm gonna go crazy.
You're gonna turn into this.
Yeah, and that's and I haven't even really seen much Gamera or Ultraman, partially for that reason, because I don't want to get myself hooked on it and then be like, now I gotta go buy all these.
Yeah.
But I definitely need to start at least watching the movies and checking out some of that stuff, because I know that stuff's all really good too.
Yep. Yeah, it could get pricey to expand, but it's also good.
Yeah, definitely. And Gamera's got a lot of cool.
Gamera's great.
Gamera's got some really cool figures, and then some of his opponents are really cool. And is it Gamera or Ultraman that fights? I think his name is Grand King.
That is Ultraman.
That is because I remember stumbling across that figure forever ago, and I almost bought it like a million times, and now of course it's 10 times the price.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just saw the Bandai Grand King figure.
And I actually got that like not that long ago.
It's a really cool figure.
Yeah.
So I'll have to get into Ultraman so I can see Grand King in action.
I would say if you're gonna try to get into either of those, go with Gamera first if you don't want to spend that much. Just because there's not as much, but because Ultraman, there's like endless amount of kaiju.
Yeah.
And you could end up spending way more than you want.
Yeah. I need to try and get myself to watch those movies, but stick to Godzilla collecting for the most part. I have one Gamera somewhere. Yeah, he's right. I don't even know what is this the 90 something? I can't.
Oh yeah, that's 99.
99. Okay, I was gonna say 98, but yeah, I don't even know why I got that figure. It was just a cool looking Gamera, so I picked it up one time. I definitely like this newer, because I've definitely seen plenty of Gamera figures and clips and whatnot, and I definitely like the new kind of what I guess you'd call it the Millennium design, probably.
The Heisei design.
That would be this would still okay. Yeah, but that design of Gamera definitely looks really cool. Some of the older ones are a little. I mean, obviously with the evolution of everything, he's going to look more modern and fancy as time goes on. But something about like this version of Gamera definitely just looks really cool compared to the older versions.
Yeah, they did a great job in the 90s with Gamera. It's so good. Those movies are incredible.
And I've seen a couple of steelbook box sets for Gamera. I think at like random. There's one local shop that's had one for forever, but it's really expensive. I don't know exactly what. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's like a steelbook something with a bunch of Gamera movies in it.
Oh wow, yeah. I don't think I have that myself, but I have every Gamera movie. But I haven't gotten any like new collection of them, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be a steelbook. Maybe it's just a collection, but
okay.
It was definitely some like anniversary set that had like I think it came in part 1 and 2, and each of them had.
Oh yeah, that's the from Arrow. Yeah, I didn't get those, but those look really cool. There's like a Showa set and a Heisei set.
Okay, yeah, maybe I think that's probably what it was. Yeah, those were
really
cool.
Good. So
yeah, so maybe I'll buck up and get those at some point and make my way through the whole
both
Gamera
of them
series.
are both series are entertaining for different reasons, but recommended.
And one more thing, I guess, Gamera wise, a lot of people are saying they want him to join the MonsterVerse. What would your opinion on that be?
Bring it on. I'd love to see it because I feel like the MonsterVerse is a perfect middle ground. It could never happen in Toho. They would never do it, but I think in the MonsterVerse, I think it could happen.
Yeah, that'd definitely be interesting. And then to kind of see Gamera's relationship with Godzilla and Kong, because I guess they're all kind of,
defenders of Earth.
Defenders of Earth, territorial type.
Yeah, no, it would be awesome. I would love to see it.
It'd definitely be cool.
I think it'd be really, really cool.
And then we could get the MonsterVerse Avengers and get Godzilla, Gamera, and Kong versus
Why not?
a bunch of bring on a whole enemy. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Do it. I want to see it happen.
Yeah,
destroy all monsters.
Hopefully the MonsterVerse continues to do well. I know Kong, Godzilla versus Kong did well in the box office.
Yeah.
So hopefully the Apple series they do is good. And then, I think I don't think they've confirmed, but I think they're wanting another movie.
They definitely do. Do. I think, it's just a matter of finding the right director and finding, the right story.
Yeah. So hopefully
there'll be another one
to do well. And then we can have, a huge throwdown at some point and
hope it happens.
Get like a a MonsterVerse destroy all monsters type movie. It'd be really sweet. That'd be awesome.
It would be.
Yeah,
it would be.
Well, I'll probably start to let you wind down unless you got anything else you want to touch on today.
I'm good, man. I appreciate being on.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on. I was really excited when you responded to my email. I'm super glad to have you on, and I'll definitely have to keep chatting with you about this and that, and maybe do this again sometime. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe I'll have you on my channel.
Yeah, I'd love to. Just let me know. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get back to doing Ultrazilla lives. That was like a thing that I was doing for a little while, where I'd have guests, but like I haven't done it in a little bit. But I've been actually thinking about getting back to that. So we will talk.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I'd be more than happy to do that. And thank you so much again for joining us here.
All right,
on
man.
This side of things. Yeah, everyone can find you at just Ultrazilla on YouTube.
Yep.
Check them out.
You could. It's Ultrazilla Toys on YouTube. So if you're looking for Ultrazilla Toys, I think that'll be. If you just type in Ultrazilla, you're gonna find me. But yeah, I think the exact address is like youtube.com/Ultrazilla Toys.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, and I'll link it. Yeah. I'll link them below for anyone wanting to go binge all your videos right now.
Go do it.
Everybody
get on it.
Yeah, no, a lot of fun stuff, tons of cool reviews, Godzilla, all sorts of
non-stop reviews, guys, non-stop.
Yeah, you do post really frequently. That's
I try to post every day.
Yeah, I appreciate.
Sometimes I have breaks, but I try.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have content continuously coming. So it's definitely fun to see.
Gotta let the content work for you.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Well, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, man.
Ultrazilla Toys. All right, guys. Dude. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right, bye.